Let's go. My name is Dan Giesing, and welcome to a unique Star Citizen opinion video. We're going to just go jump right in and get our first initial impressions of the new Star Citizen concept ship that was released called the Aegis Eclipse. Before we get into that, for us to even access the ship, there's a Uae warning. It says, by accepting these terms, you are confirming that you are a citizen in good standing with the United Empire of Earth, and by purchasing this ship, you will respect all laws, both Uae and beyond, including all endorsed papers. Yeah, it's good to see Robert Space Industries finally acknowledging the truth behind the papers. Let's go ahead and press forward here and see. Whoa, this is fancy. This is a new touch. I've never seen a ship reveal like this with the animated backgrounds and it looks like the logo from Heroes, the old NBC show. But let's take a look at this thing. So initial impressions of the design kind of to me looks like if you take out the folded bat wings on the left and right hand sides, it looks like a stealth bomber, like the old school American ones. But nonetheless, I do like the red cockpit. I think that the biggest thing, I was talking about concept ships that I like to see personally, I like to see a unique role within the verse, so we don't need two light fighters from the same manufacturer. And does it have a unique silhouette? I think you're going to be able to see, you'll be able to tell based on the wings alone what ship this is if you come across with it in the verse. Let's go ahead and take a little closer look at this. Project Eclipse, armed with multiple torpedoes and state-of-the-art scan diffusing technology, a la stealth, the Aegis Eclipse has been the Uae's best and least known protection. It is the Navy's top choice in border defense and a preferred first strike weapon against the Vandal. Now, in an effort to increase transparency with the Xi'an, the Eclipse is declassified and available for purchase by citizens. I would add on a little note on that: citizens endorsed with Uae papers. Just saying, achieving stealth. This is nice, man. They did a nice like Web 3.0 presentation on this. So let's see if we can get to the heart of this. After years of extensive field tests, the Aegis Eclipse went into service in 2932. Since then, the Eclipse has served as an unseen sentinel for our borders. It doesn't really say. It says the Eclipse's advanced hull system is adaptable to the environment thanks to multiple wing configurations. That'll be interesting. So the wings are going to slide around. Also, let us not look at this ship that's firing at the Eclipse. It is a Pirate Idris, in case you didn't pick up on that little Easter egg back there. All right, concept sale is at $275, so that means if you're using credits or a combination of melting ships, and a war bond price, aka new cash, of $250. So to me, you know, it's definitely, it seems like it's somewhat in line with like somewhere in between the Vanguard and Retaliator. But let's see. The cool thing, I think, one of the things I do like that they issue serial stamps. So like each individual ship does have a unique serial code, kind of like a VIN in a vehicle. But let's see what additional information they have for us. Oh yeah, let's take a look at the mag. Flip that page. What do we got here? Okay. High Command Budgetary Committee. A lot of redacted. This is, I mean, it's a really, look at that silhouette in that little hipster snapshot. It almost looks like a router with two antennas on either side. But let's press on. We've seen that pic. Okay, here's where we get into the goods. So the wings fold up and down for sure. Front view, inconspicuous twin engines are molded into the round air wing style body of the Eclipse. Weapons are stored internally until they're ready for use. So we can expect some kind of interesting deployment for that. Landed in 2939, Eclipse introduced a folding wing configuration to maximize space conservation. So this could be something cool that you could maybe land inside a Polaris, perhaps. Side, what does it say about the side piece? Armed with multiple torpedoes, the Eclipse is designed to get in quiet, hit hard, and escape. Now, to me, this sounds a little familiar in terms of, you know, that's kind of what they're billing the Cutlass as. Now I know it's two different manufacturers and two different roles within the verse, but still, what else to say? In the event of direct engagement, an embedded ballistic Gatling weapon system, light armor, and small shields can provide enough deterrent for the ship to look for a quick escape. So this is not going to be able to take any heat whatsoever. This is interesting. It kind of looks like a moth in the upper right-hand corner. So stealth mode. During zero-G spaceflight, the Eclipse typically adopts the compact wing position in order to create a smaller profile. Interesting. So when it gets expanded, it can fully expand and deploy smaller fins around its body to improve aerodynamics, which is useful during atmospheric flight. Okay, so this is a wing functionality ship. I guess that's unique in some extent. We do have some other ships that are like that for different function. Of course, we're talking about the Vandal ships. But let's go ahead and... That's an interesting look on it. Captain P. Jones. Cockpit looks pretty standard. You got some like carbon fiber seating or a tough matte leather. Of course, this is all subject to change. Look at the torpedoes, though. That's kind of an interesting thing. So look, if you look at the one on the left, you can see a trifecta of torpedoes coming out. So it looks like there's going to be, at least 3 deployment hatches for torpedoes at a minimum, one would say. There's another look at the Idris. What does it say? Final note, technical achievements aside, the Eclipse has firmly ensconced itself as the Navy's reliable first strike weapon into Vandal space. For example, Project Eclipse has become a vital and indispensable part of our defensive strategy, and with continued funding, the future is only brighter from here. If you require any additional information, operation files, or would like to see the Eclipse in action for yourself, don't hesitate to contact our office. Edgar Corrington. Where's his phone number? Email? Anything? Website? Papers, numbers? All right, so there was a quick look at that. I would like to see I think this is the single best shot that we've got to look at it. I mean, the cool thing about it is when you roll up on this, it looks like an Aegis ship. It looks very much like the front of a Saber, and the further and further you get out, the less like a Saber it gets. But even so, I mean, these are all designed. That's the thing, I always harp on this when we talk about new concept ships. They all fit the mold, man. If it's a Ford vehicle, you can tell it's a Ford vehicle. If it's GM, you can tell it's GM. And I like how that trend continues forward with all the new Star Citizen concept ships. All right, so we don't care about the concept sale. I do want to see the wireframe of it. Whoa, what's this? New component category. With the reveal of the Eclipse, a new category of ship items have been introduced, the stealth component. For the Eclipse, the power plant engines, thrusters, cooler, and shield utilize stealth components to allow the Eclipse's greatest specialization. So we can assume that this is going to have a very, very light footprint, and probably in the future, other ships will adjust and current ships will become more or less stealthy based on what they currently have. I could see them going back and adjusting some of that first and foremost. All right, so here we get in the comments. I do want to see the wireframe of this, gentlemen and ladies. They don't have it. So typically at this point, you could see like there'd be another button to click here. So it's a stealth bomber, 1-person seater, 0 cargo capacity. It's got 2 size 2 engines and a bunch of just thrusters, standard small power plants, 2 level 2 or 2 size 2 fixed guns, size 9 pylons, and shields are weak. So I guess that's what you'd expect out of a stealth bomber. So for $250 of new cash, I mean, where does this fit in? It doesn't seem like it's a jacked up price, right? It seems like it's priced accordingly in regards to everything else we've seen in terms of a concept sale. Now, the question is, are we going to add the Eclipse to our hangar? At this point, I personally, for my play style, I don't think I'm going to find flying a torpedo or a bomber that engaging or really kind of up my wheelhouse. However, I do think there's going to be a need for a couple of these in WHP. But in terms of a $250 price point, I think it's fairly priced. But in terms of, is this something unique enough that I want to add to my fleet? Not at this time. I've mentioned before I'm on a Star Citizen spending freeze, just because I'd say after the Caterpillar and the Buccaneer, I'm pretty much, I've got everything to start that I'm interested in. But could this be something fun? I think this is going to open up a lot of interesting dynamics, especially when we talk about planet-side landing and perhaps some planet-side skimming, maybe if there's a local base that you want to fly over and maybe gather intel on and drop bombs on. I mean, I definitely think there is a need for this ship in the game, in particular because it combines the bomber with a stealth component to it. You know, you might say this is very similar in role to the Retaliator, but I think the stealth component makes it different enough to make it worthwhile. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you going to add an Eclipse to your fleet? If so, let me know why in the comments below. For me, I feel like I have enough firepower in the hangar in terms of assault ships, and I need to get better at using them. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you also think of the new style of a first impression opinion video, as opposed to you know, the edited style. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.